back, and this video is just for my pump. I've had a couple of questions what my compressor is, and it's not a compressor. It is an HVLP turbine, so you would refer to it as a pump. It does create air, but it doesn't create air pressure as much as air volume. So
explain that, because I don't even get it.
Well, air compressors, they build big pressure, you know what I mean? It'll sit and work pressure up, work a bunch of moisture up as it does. This just builds just over 10 pounds. It's 11.5.
So is that so it doesn't build up water?
It helps with that, but it's for the high volume, low pressure overspray. There's a bunch of different reasons why they came up with it.
Okay.
You don't have to use it in the booth. Anyway, this is a Titan cap spray. In my world, as a painting contractor, Graco is the shit, but Titan is a good brand for this. The Graco, it has a max pressure of 9.5 psi, which this, I assume, is where we're running, is 9.5 to 10 pounds when we're on low. But when we're on up on that, that's nice. Got some overspray on that guy. I never thought to clean the fucking cup holder. Anyway, like I was saying, the Graco, it's a nice system though. It runs to where it's kind of like the airbrush pump where you turn it on and it builds pressure and then it shuts off until you pull the trigger. This one stays on all the time, which I don't mind, but now, like I say, the high volume with the low pressure is where this thing kills it at, because it gives a shit ton of product at a max PSI of 11.5. And you could, back before I had one of these, I fucking basically just ran a high horsepower vacuum motor in reverse and hooked it up with the fittings on it and whatnot, put it in a crate, in a milk crate, and built a box around it. You have to filter it or whatnot, but it worked just fine for a long time. Now, this is one of the cheaper guns. I think I still spent like 240 bucks on it, but this is just the Titan Maxim. The pump came with a free gun, which I got a Maxim Elite. I bought another one, so I have another one inside. I like to use the siphon still, which I understand the gravity feeds are nice for using all the last little bit of product or whatnot, but a siphon gun works just as well. But for those of you who just have to have the gravity feed, we have the Maxim Elite, which you're like, what the fuck is that? It's still a siphon. It is. Let me remember how this hooks up. I believe it's just as simple as
unscrewing.
Of course I tightened it down. Let me see it right. Show me this guy right here.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, this thing is just as easy as that.
Wow, it's both?
Yeah.
Isn't yours both too?
No, that one's just Maxim. And like I said,
why?
I have two of these just because I like it. I'm old school. I have two of these guns. I just never use them. I've had this pump for...
Ever?
Yeah, it's been a while, 4 or 5 years already. I will say it costs $1,600.
Oh my!
Yeah, they're not super duper cheap, but they're nice. I thought this thing just slides back like so. Bring back just past its rotation, clicker into place.
Get out of town! Now I know why it's so expensive.
Yeah, these I think I spent 280 bucks because, like I say, you get one for free.
Yeah.
When you
is this the one you got for free? Because that would be awesome. That'd be worth it. Yeah, I got
one of these for free. Yes, I bought this just to use this.
Okay.
I'm going to use it until it starts working shitty, and then I'll use it for a primer gun.
Oh.
I'm not going to tighten this down and all that shit right now either.
Wow.
It's unnecessary, but it has a little fucking, well, so you can set it down too, so that's nice. You know what I mean? You can set the fucking gun down.
I said, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, so you can set the gun down without having,
Wow.
I thought this was bigger for some reason, but no, that's fine. Like I say, it's a nice little unit. So we have that option, which
That's cool to have.
Eventually, I have 2 of these that are unused. I'll start using it with this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll set one up with that and set one up with this. I don't know. Anyway.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yeah. No, so I'll have her bring you out here. Now, this is a 5-stage turbine pump. Now, 5 stages means that it has 5 internal fans. They're just one single fan impeller, but I'm not sure exactly how they're set up because I haven't pulled one of these apart myself. But the setup that I had only had 1 fan on it, so it would be called a single stage, and it did just fine. Now, when you call the Titan guys and ask about these, they'll tell you that they won't paint cars. It's not made for painting cars. It can't handle that. But the thing is it's made to spray house paint out of it all day long, and house paint is 5 times thicker than fucking car paint. So if you can spray that thick shit through it, you definitely can spray car paint, and I've been able to spray car paint through those motherfuckers all day long. So I've had it for years. And like I say, actually it needs to be cleaned at the moment. We have filters on both ends. One's an intake and one's an outtake. So one intakes air and then one just blows heat out of it, or helps dissipate heat from the system. These need to be washed out, but I'm not going to do that right now because we're about to fire it up. Now the thing with conventionals work, they're okay, but sometimes they can be a wrestling match to get your pressure right. And sometimes you're wrestling for fucking 8-10 inches of a fan. This thing will give you 12 inches of fan pretty consistently. I'm going to open the garage, and then what I'll do, actually, here, let me just hook up. I'm going to walk out there, open the garage. I'll have you turn that on low, and then just walk on over here. And we'll talk about it and show them the fan for a minute. Now I just have reducer, or actually lacquer thinner in here.
Did you notice that's all red and glittery?
What's that?
It's all red and glittery.
Inside of there? Yeah, no, it needs to be replaced.
What is that?
It's a siphon. It just siphons air through it. So, but I've cleaned this out all the time. But that's from painting.
Oh,
what
wow.
do you mean? What is?
Well, I mean, like
the last thing that we actually, the last color we painted in here was that red glittery shit. Those I like to change every once in a while. I'm not sure what this little check valve is. It, I don't know that it helps at all. All the ones I've ever had have just been a hose. This thing does get clogged up if you don't give it maintenance. So you just, like I say, just like anything, you just want to clean it. So,
okay.
But, you know, I will say when you use this Autobahn product, you want to clean this a shit ton while you're fucking spraying. Otherwise, that's where it got all drippy and funky, which they still do, but it appeared to do more with this product. I like it though. It's not going to detour me from buying any more of it. You can go ahead and kick that on and come on back in.
High or low?
You see, it's a soaking wet, sloppy mess out here. But come over here so you can see in the light. I'll stand on the other. Well, I guess, can you see? You see how big that fan is?
Yeah, I can see it. I can totally see it.
Yeah, you're looking at 12 inches out at fucking 8 inches there.
And it's literally like 5 feet of spray.
Well, yeah.
To me, it looks like 5 feet.
But nonetheless, the fan is very nice. Oh, sorry. Now, There is one thing that I did different on my setup, which you can do on these unscrew right here, is I actually just put a garden hose ball valve, you know, one that you would open up to let water through and close to not, and it helps regulate the airflow. You don't need it to be totally air fucking tight, because when the pump's on, you're always pushing something through it anyway. So if it's closed, it'll fucking it'll blow a little bit past it, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like I say, everything works out just lovely when it's on. It's unnecessary, but it works good for turbos, because then you can cut your pressure back to fucking 5 or 6 psi, you know what I mean? Even less. Let me get this shut. Okay, so the cap spray, it has 3 models. One would be, I guess it would just be the 95, which is a 9.5. There's the 105, which is a 10.5, and then the 115, which is 11.5 psi, and that's the max pressure. They're good fucking setups. They work awesome. They're expensive, but they pay for themselves. They save a shit ton of material. Or you can crank it up and burn up a lot of material too. So they work good in situations where you don't have a spray booth. You can spray things that don't get totally fucking wiped out. And since this is our intake, you see how filthy it is. And this one is, like I said, this is our fucking output side. Let's give these things a hard washing. That's all you really have to do to them. Yeah, so anyway, if you guys have any more questions about it, just contact me, leave them in the comment section, I'll get back to you. I tried looking for a brochure so we had more than just basic information on it. Like I say, I don't know much about the guts of them because I've never pulled them apart. So eventually this thing will end up having to come apart, but I bet you it's going to be fucking 5 or 10 years till I have to fuck with it. As long as you maintain it, it'll last and it'll treat you just fine. So yeah, just like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions about it, just get a hold of me. I'll let you know. Graco also makes them. There are many other brands, Eastwood. There's many other places that put out turbine pumps, and they're a lot less, or they used to be. I don't know about now, but I know that Eastwood used to have one for like $900. But they do the trick. They're awesome. And I think, I mean, like most guys, once you go turbine, you never really end up using the compressor for much. I use it for little touch-ups and for priming and shit, but other than that, fuck, my big compressor isn't even hooked up. I just have the little one out in the shed. Yeah, other than that, like I said, go ahead and look into turbine pumps. It's the way to go. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll get back to you guys later. We's out.